worked. Welcome back to this Jack. For those who don't know, the reason why I was not able to stream on Coffee Over Gaming last week is because my computer completely went kabloop. So I basically had to rebuild it. Now, if I was smart, I would have recorded my repairing of it, me putting in the new motherboard, CPU, and RAM and all that stuff, and just like, hey, here's a video of what happened. And now I have enough spare parts to almost build a whole nother computer. I just need to replace one or two new things. There's a long story on why that is, too. So I'll be able to get my work computer built soon, or another computer for Gothic, because she kind of needs one. But that's another story. I always love to love and support my family. So, with that said, welcome back to this Jack. I kind of rambled there. I don't really have too much to talk about today. I got a couple rants I could go into, and if y'all got anything y'all want to specifically cover, we could talk about that. But one of the ones I want to talk about, let's start with this one. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way because I'm going to go ahead and say it now before I get a whole bunch of Elon Musk stands yelling at me and getting annoying real fast. So I made a video a couple days ago talking about Elon Musk wanting to charge new users of Twitter $1 a year to prevent bots. And I'm like, you're going to lose a lot of clientele with this. Just a lot of people are not going to use or sign up for the app. If it's just new users, people aren't going to sign up. Then you might have people just leave on principle. So you're going to lose users. And because it creates a new bar of entry, yada yada. And then I had, if you actually look at the comments on it, people are like making fun of me, like, "Oh, he's smarter than all of us." And like, that's not making fun of us. But the other one was making fun of because I use a little tiny mic. Let's see, where is it? Here it is. I use a little clip-on mic for when I'm at my green screen. Let's see here. Hang on. I'm black and holding a black thing. It's kind of hard to see. I'm wearing black. Not I'm black. So I got a lot of crap for that, and I love it. It's funny as hell. Like, go ahead and mock me. I don't care. There is literally almost no insult you can say that's worse than I've ever said to myself. So, and I've dealt with a lot of that. So, deal with it. Hashtag deal with it. But as almost if, like, fate said, hey, Jack, we want to prove you even more right that he's being dumb, I have to make another short now called Elon Musk Another Nail, because I called it Twitter comment parentheses X a nail, so I'll have to make it Another Nail. And he's talking about pulling Twitter usage out of the EU because of regulations they've got in the area. So it's like, oh, he's wanting to cordon off a whole part of the world that cannot use his website. And it's a website that's main revenue is supposed to be ads. I don't know what he's trying to do. That's actually my first cup of coffee in like 3 days. Although the last cup of coffee I had was like this giant ass Starbucks thing, so take your pick on that. In case you're wondering, it was pumpkin spice. I am a basic. You can finish out the rest of that. So, Elon Musk doing Elon Musk stuff. Yay! I find it hilarious. But yeah, like, you could go down the laundry list of just dumb things he's done in regards to taking over Twitter. Just like, because originally I think he just did it on a meme. He was like, "I'll buy Twitter," and he like offers like what was it, 50% more than it was actually worth to, like, "I'll buy every stock at this amount to take it private." And he had the money, theoretically. I'll explain that one in a minute because it's more of a politics thing, but I'll give you the quick rundown for mathematic reasons. And then he buys it, and then immediately like starts unshackling a lot of things that were keeping it like popular with ad user or ad generators, whatever you want to call it. Hey, Gothic. And so a lot of people who bought ads would leave. He brought back a lot of the people who were banned for saying racist and hateful things. He brought back. He did that. Then he changed the name to X. Like, I'm talking about all these things out of order. So you can take your, so you run with it how you will. Change the name to X, and there's like a whole fun drama on that alone because, if you want to go into the history of that real fast, he originally wanted to name PayPal X. Because remember, everybody like credits him like, "Oh, he created PayPal. That's why he's a super genius." Like that. he didn't create anything. He just happened to like be a major investor at the beginning and got himself titled as CEO. And he actually got ousted. He got chased out of the company when they became PayPal because they were like, he did such a horrible job. I can't read your message right now. My glasses are off. There we go. Yeah, right now we're just talking about Elon Musk because another nail. I need to make another short about it, talking about how he's about to cordon off all of the EU, and I wanted to get my Elon Musk stuff out of the way, so like I don't have to like in case an Elon Musk stan drops into the chat later, I don't have to deal with them. But yeah. So there's like a large saga on this whole thing. I actually should probably make a full video talking about all the nails that he's done, and then also a bit of his history. Because like, yes, my stuff is like I think I can make a short and to the point video on it. It doesn't need to be a 10-minute video. I think I probably can nail all the story of like all this stuff down in like 3 minutes, maybe 4. I think I could do it. Now the question is, can I do it without talking fast? Because I've been able to do a top 10 in less than a minute. I was pretty proud of myself. It was about Gambit. It's actually, I think, on this channel. And if not, it's on Jack Daedalus. I'm hungry. I have I woke up not too long ago. I need to eat, but I haven't eaten yet. Probably make some salad fixings and eat. All right. All right. Next thing I want to talk about. So, I'd love to be able to play a video of the anime for this, but I'd probably get hit by copyright strike or copyright notice or whatever. And I'm tired of getting hit by those. Although this channel doesn't get any monetization. It's my Twitch channel that does for when I'm streaming here, but we'll ignore that. Anyway, so right now Bleach is doing its second part of the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, and apparently they're going to be doing a third part. I'm like, why'd you break it into 3 parts? Just do it into 2. Or just do it as 1. I don't care which, but whatever. As long as they're doing a good job. They're actually adding content. Because apparently they actually talked to the original writer and said, hey, this is stuff that we wanted to include, but we were on a time crunch. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I approved that. Anyway, so we finally had the fight of Yabahawa versus Squad Zero Captain, leader, not captain, because they're all technically captains, Ichibi. And it's a fight that was a lot of people interested in because both these guys are insanely powerful in their own right. We saw Yabahawa straight up take out Yamamoto for the longest time. We were like, he's the strongest. And then we just saw him, like when Yabahawa actually showed up, just took him out right away. There's a lot of arguments about that, but we're not going to get into that, about why he was able to do that. And the reason I'm talking about this is the fight highlights Hack's character. And that's another one of those Bleach tropes I really just don't like. Characters who have these hack abilities, are just cheat abilities. Like we see one early is Soifon in the original Bleach series. If she stabs you twice with her little hand dagger thing, she stabs you in the same spot twice, you instant die. No pass go, no collect $200. You just instantly die. And abilities like that are annoying. And then especially when she's actually an ally, it becomes completely pointless. It doesn't work anymore. She tries to use it on Aizen, and he's like, I have superior Retsu, spirit energy, and therefore it doesn't work on me. Hey, Peanut Head, we're making fun of Bleach right now. So hack abilities are really annoying, and this is not even, they haven't even shown what Iryu has now, what his hack ability is. It is complete bullshit. It is the only reason he's hit the power level he is now is because they gave him a completely broken ability. Yeah, well, I didn't stream last Friday because my computer crashed, so you didn't miss anything last Friday. And sadly, I don't know how long this one's going to be because I need to eat. So we'll see. We'll go until either I get hungry or I run out of things to talk about. But anyway, Ichibe and Yabahawa. Yeah, go ahead. Ask the question. I'll get to that next. Ichibe and Yabahawa, you just look at it like hack abilities. So Ichibe's ability is, first he covers things in black ink, and they lose their name. So you're like, okay, what's the point of the name? Well, the name determines what its ability is. So he basically can strip anything of its power. And then he can also then write on it and give it a new name. So he actually does that to Yabahawa. He covers him in black ink and then writes we'll get to that in a second. That's actually a good point. Anyway, and then he writes a new name on it. He writes on the name Black Ant onto him. So apparently Yabahawa has the power of a black ant. So there's more to that. There's more to that. Once again, I'll explain that in a minute. There's a reason why it doesn't work as well as people as you initially think it does. And the only reason Yabahawa doesn't instantly lose at that point is because he has his own hacks ability where he's like, I rewrite the future so that I always win. Like, when you already have a Chosen One character who's too OP, you have to create a character who has a broken ability that can only be beaten by plot. And that's what they did with Yabahawa. And that's what always annoys me. And it's like, almost as bad as the Chosen One character is the character who can only be beaten because story reasons allowed it to happen. And what makes it even worse is when that character is now an ally at some point with Look and Aizen, and he's suddenly, you have Aizen, who is now nowhere, for some reason doesn't feel nearly as powerful as he used to. Even though they do show him doing insane powers, he still gets his ass kicked. So it's like, I hate that. Anyway. The body swap ability of Captain Ginyu, they actually showed it when it was first introduced, its limitation. So when he took over Goku's body, he was getting his ass kicked by Gohan. And it's because because he can't just swap bodies and then immediately understand how to use all of their abilities. He doesn't know any of their abilities, actually. And if any of their abilities are like going Super Saiyan or Kaioken, he doesn't know how to do those either. So he just can't do that. So he gets none of the power-ups. So it's not as powerful as you think. Now, so let's say he... Hang on. This is where it gets even more complicated. Say he took over Hit's body. No, it could be useful, but... Like, the only people whose body he could... Yeah, the only people whose body he could probably take over and it would be beneficial is somebody like Frieza before he trained. Because Frieza's power was just flat, I'm powerful, screw you. Assuming he would be able to figure out how to remove the outer shells. So Frieza would be an example of somebody he'd be able to do it to and it'd be worth it. Now, yeah. But now, here's the trick. Here's the one thing. I'm pretty sure once you reach a certain level power difference between the two characters, it wouldn't work anymore. Like, they'd just be able to, like, screw you, this doesn't work on me. So, like, for instance, if you try to do it to Beerus, for instance, it just wouldn't work. If you tried to do it to Whis, it just wouldn't work. He could trick them into turning onto Goku. Yeah, although they've always depicted it as their voices change, but it may have been just their manner of speaking, because Goku speaks like a southern hick. That's the way, by the way, my kitty cat's behind me if you can't see him. In case you wanted to see him. Like the Patara. Their voices merge for the Patara and the fusion dance, but they always describe, but that may have just been an artistic rendering where we heard the original voices, but their manner of speaking doesn't change. So, for instance, Goku's always been described as sounding like a hick, like an uneducated hick, and that's because he never got education, so he doesn't speak proper. To us, it does, like, his English voice acting doesn't show it, and and most of us don't understand Japanese, but that's what he's supposed to sound like. So, like, anybody listening to Ginyu suddenly talking proper, they're like, wait, that's not Goku. So they wouldn't fall for it. As far as we know, there's no time limit, because remember, Ginyu was stuck as a frog for years. He was stuck as a frog from the Frieza arc all the way up until the return of Frieza in Super. He was a frog the whole time, because he survived. And then he took over Frieza's new second-in-command's body. And, yeah, so as far as we know, there is no time limit. In fact, the body we see Captain Ginyu in is not his original body. That's actually a good video to do, actually, now that I think of it. So it is potentially an all-broken ability, but it has limitations. Go for it. That's actually what I was gonna say. Let me see if I can pull it up, because I think it has been revealed at some point what he originally looked like, but he looked very human. I think it was revealed at one point. So originally, because the first time he used it, he swapped bodies with some rich kid to look like him. I don't know if this is canon or just an almach, however you want to phrase it. I'll have to zoom in because it's like from a tiny single frame. But that's what he looked like. Well, that's the first body he took over. His dead original body, we don't know. But yeah. But as the series went on, they started making it so that your spirit energy, your power level can override anything. No, his original... Hang on. His original body is human looking. He looked human. But he realized that looking good and having the body of a rich kid didn't really matter. So he started taking over the bodies of more and more powerful people. That's what he started doing, and that's how he became as powerful as he is. What he didn't take into account was people whose powers were not derived from their raw physical abilities, but their control of their own ki, or their own chi, or whatever you want to call it. Or spirit energy, whatever you want to call it. Because the majority of the people he took over were people who just really strong. Oh yeah, he made a lot of mistakes. He became extremely loyal to Frieza, is a good example. Like, initially, if he had taken over Vegeta's body, he probably would have been fine. He would have been in a much better place. He would have been in a much better place than when he took over Goku's. Because Frieza, at that point, Vegeta's power was more based on his raw strength. So you're saying if Ginyu actually like studied his opponent in advance, that would make it a lot more powerful. That would make it much more dangerous. Yeah. Genyu's an idiot. You are right. If Ginyu was smarter about it, he would be a lot more dangerous about it. If he took over someone like Broly's power, which I don't think he could, but if he took over someone like Broly's body, that would be insanely powerful in its own right. He wouldn't need to do any of that. Just take over Broly's power. Because Broly's power, he just gets stronger the longer he fights. The more pissed off he gets. Go ahead. And that's either Broly. Either Super or regular, or the original. It's not like Portera. I don't think it's like Portera. Because Portera pulls the two bodies together to create a new body. He just takes your soul and his soul and goes wonk. Once again, we don't know if the voices change or not, but the manner of speaking does. That's for sure. We don't know that either. He's never because he did try to take Goku's power level when Goku was considered more powerful than him. But once again, Goku's power level is a trick because he casually turns off and on Kaioken, so you actually never know his real power level half the time. Hang on, let me give you a second to clarify what you're talking about before I just ramble on. He can't, it's not a fusion, remember, it's him just swapping bodies. He was using Kaioken. Oh no, when he first landed, oh sorry, when it's over 9,000 talking to Vegeta, that was not him using Kaioken, that was him by default. But when he first showed up and beat up the Ginyu squad, he was using Kaioken, most likely. Because Goku's ×2 Kaioken, or his ×1, whatever you want to call it, his initial Kaioken, he turns it off and on all the time like it's nothing. It doesn't affect him. Because Kaioken is nothing more than you properly controlling your spirit energy, ki, whatever you want to call it. Or using it most efficiently. Hang on. It's full sentence. What are you talking about? Take all the time you need to write it out. Write out your full thought. Take all the time. I'll wait. And I'll talk about what Kaioken is. So Kaioken has always been nothing more than the focused and controlled use of your ki, spirit energy, whatever you want to call it. No. I'll explain why. That's all it's ever been. That's why that's why your body can only handle so much. It's effectively like the classic humans remove their limiter in their head. That's all it is. He's using his ki to push his body more than he should be able to, and it starts breaking. That's all Kaioken's ever been. It's your ability to control your ki to push the limits of your body. Now, SSJ3, no. It has a permanent time limit of 30 minutes. It can never be more than 30 minutes because that's literally the max usage of your power pushed to that point, and I don't like it. You're right. You're right. He has some glorious eyebrows. No, nowhere near Mike Guy's level. No, Mike Guy's got the best eyebrows. But anyway, no, its real limitation is you only have a 30-minute time limit because that is you pushing every ounce of your Saiyan blood. It is the peak of Saiyan transformation until you get to like SSJ4, which doesn't count, is not canon unless you count Beast Gohan as SSJ4. Yeah, he looks very caveman-y in my opinion. Someone did an art style. No, I'm not gonna look for it because I don't know where it is. I have no idea where I'd find it. But it was just basically someone doing like a female version of all the Super Saiyan forms, and that was one of them. Sorry, my eye itches right now. Go ahead, ask any question. But no, I don't think they should bring back SSJ4. I think the last time, or SSJ3, the last time it was used. And Goku's fight with Beerus was probably the best last time to use it because it's just literally too exhausting for any Saiyan to use and maintain for any length of time because it has a permanent, it's not something you can train to last more than 30 minutes. It by definition is set for a 30-minute time limit. The only reason Goku's been able to use it for longer than that is because they use Shenron to extend it or to reset him effectively. You're right. I need to do some videos on these questions. I should probably write them down before I completely forget. So let's do that. While we're going, I'll make a list of videos I need to make short questions out of. So while I'm waiting for your next question, I'm going to go ahead and write these down. You're going to have to narrow down which mistakes you're talking about, but that's because the Cell Saga was constantly being rewritten. So the only androids that Goku... okay, let's rewind for a second. The Cell Saga was constantly being rewritten as it was being written. For example, originally androids 19 and 20 were supposed to be the two androids that showed up. But the editor did not like Akira Toriyama's design, and he's like, no, those could not be the two androids. We have to make two others. So he made 17 and 18. So that's why there's so many extra androids. And then when they started making 17 and 18 and started personalizing them, I think the editor came down, or Akira Toriyama decided, no, I don't want them to be the main villain, so they created Cell. So it was a lot of ass pulls. Now, Goku as he was at the beginning of that saga would have lost to 16, 17, and 18. He would have lost. He could not have won that fight until he had done Perfected Saiyan. Beerus versus Makako? What? Who are you talking about? Hang on. Which arc are we talking about? Beerus wins in almost every fight. He's actually the most powerful destroyer out of all of them. You're going to have to narrow that down. Like, there's a lot of stuff. Hang on. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not knowing who you're talking about. But Beerus is the most powerful destroyer out of all of them. He has the Master of the Destroyer style, which is known as the Ego style. Vegito called it. No, he's not. Bellman is not stronger. And I can prove it. No, I'm not using that. No, the manga actually said the other. just before the tournament, they had a spar between all the gods of destruction. Hang on, hang on. Manga said the opposite. This is Beerus fighting all the other gods simultaneously. They attacked him, because not only does he know how to do the ego style, he also knows most of Ultra Instinct. He's Ultra Instinct sign equivalent. He is the most powerful. The only reason at the end Belmond was able to stand against him is because Beerus had been fighting all the other gods. Like, they all hate Beerus, so they all attacked him at once, and he held his own. Beerus is the most powerful of the gods of destruction. He's actually probably about the only one who actually trains out of all of them, too. No, the reason why they don't like him is something entirely different. That's actually not the reason at all. The reason they don't like him is about a couple millennia ago, the last time all the gods of destruction got together, they're having a galactic or universal, whatever you want to call it, hide and seek. And he just went to sleep. He went and hid somewhere and went to sleep. And Zeno got pissed off and was about to destroy everything until the other gods made him happy. So they were pissed at him from that. And then gods of destruction hold grudges. But Beerus is the most powerful of the gods of destruction. Like, that's not a question. He has fought all of them simultaneously and held his own. Hang on, actually. I'll pull this one up so you can see it. If I'm, don't tell me you forgot about it, friend. If I remember correctly, in the last emergency call, every universe was on the verge of being erased, thanks to you. Because he doesn't need to. That's how powerful he is. He doesn't need to. He only uses it when he's being 100% serious. He likes to play around with Ultra Instinct because gods of destruction aren't supposed to know Ultra Instinct. Because it's the exact opposite personality of a destroyer is supposed to have. Because when he goes ego, which is the god of destruction style, I'll go ahead and I'll add that to the list. That is it. I'll add that to the list. Then Beerus dies instantly. Because I actually know which scene you're talking about. Beerus dies instantly. Yeah, because he said, if you get between us, I will kill you. I remember that, yeah. Then, yeah, Beerus instantly dies. That's the problem with being a god of destruction. If your Supreme Kai counterpart dies, you die too instantly. And that's meant as a tether. Now, mind you, there is a workaround. If Beerus sealed him away like he did to old Kai, then yeah. Although arguably, he may not have died from it. In our timeline, he may not have died from it. Yeah. Well, actually, you kind of see that in the Future Trunks arc, Future Trunk arc, because you So in the Future Trunk arc, you actually see that. Sorry, where you see Black Goku. That's actually what happened. Supreme Kai died, so Beerus is dead. Whis is deactivated because if an angel has no, which is what Whis is, if an angel has no god of destruction, they shut down. That's why Beerus never was able to show up in that timeline to help deal with Goku, Black Goku, and I forget the other guy's name, or his original self's name. And by the way, in case you're wondering, the anime and manga are completely different when it comes to that arc, how it ended. There's actually an Omok version where he takes over... because... I don't... It probably would have worked because it's the all-powerful version of Shenron. And then you can argue why didn't he choose Zeno's body. But... I think it's because he viewed Goku's as having a higher potential. I think that's the reason. but I do have to say I love the naming context of his version of Super Saiyan. So, in case you didn't know, all of the gods of destruction are named after alcohol. All of the Super Saiyan abilities are named after colors. So, Super Saiyan Rose does both. Rose is an alcohol, it's a wine, and it's a color rose. So I thought it was really freaking brilliant. Well, the thing is, right now, that Shenron, that version of Shenron, the original Shenron, they said he can grant anything. There is no exception. So, as far as we know, he could have done it. I doubt it. Then you can argue, why didn't he choose an angel's body? He could have chosen the... I forget what Belmont's is, but I think it's a fine a type of liquor. I can't remember. Oh, and by the way, all of the... I think they were also supposed to be named after viruses. I think the angels are supposed to be named after viruses. Anyway, Whis is whiskey. I know that. But yeah, he could have chosen the attendant, which is the father of all the angels and the second most powerful being in existence, and the most powerful fighter. I don't know what you're going with, because he's used Kaioken while using... There's actually a big flaw with that. I'll talk to you about... not with that specifically, but with his use of Kamehameha. But what do you got? What do you got? Unless you... That's possible. That actually makes... Well, no, that wouldn't work. Because... Okay. So, Kaioken was put on the back burner ever... Yeah. Kaioken was put on the back burner for a very, very long time because, as he actually said it in Super, because Super Saiyan was more powerful of a transformation. So there's no point in him using Kaioken because you couldn't merge the two, with one exception. He did it when he was already dead. Once. Because there's no body limitation at that point. So you have that. He didn't bring it back until the tournament arc, where he combined it with Super Saiyan Blue because of the nature of those two don't conflict with each other. But he said it's such a strain on the body, he can't maintain it, so he doesn't do. He only did it on. And in the anime, he actually, I think he did use Super Saiyan Kaioken Blue. Yep, the Janamba movie. He actually also did it in the Buu arc, which are, I'm talking two separate occasions, so that's technically twice, even though the Janamba arc is not canon. I would like to see a super version of that. That'd be very interesting. Because Janamba was interesting. An unserious boss. Are you kidding me? But no, that's entirely possible that he did because he didn't want anything he did that Black would have learned and copied. So you're right, that is possible. Well, he was supposed to be the combined souls of all the evil souls that were unpurged into a demon's body. So I like that concept more than a inter-universal criminal sealed inside of Kaioken's planet. Yarr! I really wish they had made that. Oh, speaking of Dragon Ball, so Team 4-Star actually started making little shorts for the Buu arc, and I was for Buu Abridged. They didn't make the whole series, which, okay, fine. But they did the scene I wanted, which is in YouTube Best Buddy, when Vegeta goes to self-destruct. We all knew that's what it was going to be, and it was great. I love it. I almost want to pull it up and watch it with you guys, but they wouldn't copy strike me. I don't think they would. But I'm afraid more of that Funimation might. So I'm not going to. I already get hit enough with copyright notices on my other channels. I feel like there's some parental issues there I need to talk about. Do I need to pull out the clipboard? Let's see here. Yeah, go ahead. Ask all the questions you want. Go ahead, Gothic. Oh, by the way, if y'all haven't already, Gothic's my little sister. Give her support. Y'all can find her on Twitch and YouTube under Gothic Phoenix. You can see her user tag right there. You may have retracted the message up there, but I can still see it down here on my OBS. I really wish I could grow a full beard. Like, I can't. Like, it's been 3 years, and I get nothing but slight stubble on the cheeks. I really need I really wish I could grow a full beard. I'm waiting to see what Gothic's question is. Because we can bring up any anime, as long as I know it. If I don't know it, then I don't know it. Oh, there is one other story I wanted to bring up while Gothic's typing out her question real fast. Oh, I can leave it up there, that's right. Because how I have it set. We gonna be getting some more Berserk. Answer no. I'll explain that in a second. We're gonna be getting some more Berserk. So this is technically a fan-made production, which I'm actually more entertained by that idea. But it's a bunch of indie developers, apparently some of the best artists, like, who are really good at putting this shit together. So, yeah, because I got long hair in case you haven't noticed. I rarely leave my hair down. But we're going to be getting a new Berserk series, and because this is being done by fans, it actually might turn out really good. And it looks like it's just a bunch of really big fans who are collaborating all their talents and resources to make a good one. That's fine. Also, hi, Hokamas, or however you say that. Anyway, to answer your question, Gothic, no, My Hero Academia would not fit within the DC or Marvel universe, just because of the nature of how everybody got their powers as quirks, which effectively makes quirk users in, say, Marvel universe would be mutants, and I think they'd just be classified as metahumans. So, I disagree. I feel that the competing nature between the two just doesn't work, like the nature of how their powers came about. But mind you, the one asterisk you can play with is that so when they said when quirks first showed up, the world went into a dark age of fighting it. He would die in DC, he would win in Marvel. DC, he would be able to be taken out like that by Dr. Manhattan, because everybody forget Dr. Manhattan's a DC character. And Marvel, there's very few characters who could unmake Gogeta. Which is funny, because I always, like, when I was raised, it was always Gogeta. That's how people said it to me. I was like, oh, that doesn't sound right. Yeah. Oh, the universe would shatter because Gogeta is. Because remember, Gogeta, when he was fighting Super Broly, actually broke through reality at one point, which was really cool. Go lurk. Yes and no. His power level never stops rising. Because his base form is described as Ozuru in Saiyan form. Meaning he stays in Saiyan form, but he gets the powers of Ozuru, which was always described as a 10 times multiplier. Super Saiyan is described as another 10 times multiplier, so it's 10 times on top of 10 times. And that's just without him doing any real training. And he was already insanely powerful in his own right. Mind you, as, yeah, his base is strong too. But as Dragon Ball Abridged pointed, no, not 20 times. It's 10 times, 10 times. So actually more like 100 times. And that's without the legendary aspect kicking in. Because if you notice, he had a third transformation in the movie. No. He had a third transformation. When he started turning green, that was another transformation. That's when he went legendary. It actually has its own abbreviation. Most people just call it Berserker Saiyan. It was his equivalent of becoming SSJ. Yeah, so it's a whole nother form. It's insanely powerful in its own right. It's got its own name because it's the same thing as Kefla or whatever her name was. It's the same thing as that. I like the super version. Like, don't get me wrong. I grew up on the Z version. It was cool and all, but I feel it didn't have as much of an impact. I really do like the super version more. Kale, thank you. Yeah, because he's got the same transformation as her. Because she can go Super Saiyan, and then she goes that huge hulking form. He did the huge hulking form near the end of the fight. No, he's not. Z's is not ultimately stronger. Z was getting his butt kicked by a powered-up SSJ-2 Goku. He lost to that. Whereas Super's version lost to Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. That's a vast ocean of difference between the two. Both of them have the same ability to always come back stronger. It's just that the Super version, they both can do that. All Saiyans can actually do it. It's just that most don't learn how to do it. It's just a key technique. Technically, anybody who knows key can do it. But Super's is more powerful. No, even then, it's still Super by a large margin. Super 1 was fighting Golden Frieza and knocking him around like it was a joke. He was fighting an SSJ. He was fighting a blue version of Gogeta, which we had never seen till that point. Krillin cannot ride the Nimbus. In fact, the only two people we've seen ride the Nimbus has been Goku and Gohan when he was a kid. Now that he's an adult, I don't know if he could. So that's correct. Krillin's never been able to ride it. Master Roshi once was able to, but he can't anymore. Y'all think Master Roshi's my real name? God damn it, Abridged. It made so many good jokes that just kind of stuck. Only 80 years ago. I can't remember how long it's been, because like I don't remember Dragon Ball extremely well. I remembered it well enough, but I haven't watched it in forever. Or read it in forever. Yeah. Now, mind you, I do like what they've done with Master Roshi. Let me rant about this real fast. So one of the tropes I hate in anime is the super perverted character. Now, I don't mind a character being perverted, but the super perverted one becomes an issue. One example being Mineta from My Hero Academia. That's an example of super perverted, where it causes issues with me, it bothers me. And then the original version of Master Roshi is the other. That's what got me on this tangent, where he shrunk himself just to go watch Bulma pee at one point. I'm glad that they changed him away from that. Like, he's still perverted. He still appreciates the female form, but he's not doing that kind of stuff anymore. In fact, actually, in Super, he's been secretly training, and then you actually showed what happened when he represses that side of himself. He becomes really damn strong and was able to fight in the Universal Destruction Tournament, which actually in the manga, if I remember correctly, he was the first person to make Jiren actually have to power up to fight. He was dodging and fighting Jiren. So, Master Roshi is not a joke. Not anymore, at least. Right now, yeah. Well, Super is supposed to be the successor to Z. GT doesn't count anymore. That's part of the timeline now, which is good because I really didn't like GT. There's like a couple scenes I did enjoy, but really wasn't a fan of GT. Oh, we have to specify what you mean. Oh, okay. And don't forget, there's also a Dark Nimbus, though. Yeah. And I wanted to bring that up, too. Oh, Zane looks so cute. Look at him behind my head. He's so cute. Sorry, I saw my kitty cat, and I had to say that. He moved. So I have to bring this up. I know. Go for it. Remember, right now in Super, the most powerful non-god is Black Frieza and Beast Gohan. Go ahead. If it's something I can't talk about on stream, I won't talk. That's one of the reasons why you don't see chat scrolling up the side. Yeah, go for it. Because if you're talking about Master Roshi being a perv, like, there's a long list of stuff he's done. I love the reason why. I can't remember her name right now. Yeah, not important. Oh, Launch. The reason why Launch is not in Z is because she literally was forgotten at first. Seen they're falling down a volcano. Oh yeah. Well, you got to remember, like in the first couple episodes, he pulls down her panties at one point, and because he was like, "Where's her junk?" That's the canon reason given, but the actual reason is because Akira Toriyama completely forgot she existed. I know. And he grabs her inappropriately. Mind you, Krillin's more likely to do it intentionally. Krillin won, though. Out of all the characters of Dragon Ball, Krillin won. Has an amazing wife, has a great kid. I never finished that game. I think I got to, like, the Frieza saga and stopped playing. If you go to my Jack Daedalus streaming channel, you'll find my Let's Play of that back in the day. Like a 20, 30 pound heavier version of me. Which, by the way, I've been doing a lot of walking. Yep. Yeah, he killed the original Cell. You're right. Krillin was the first person to actually beat Cell. You're right. You're right, Cool Walker. I forgot about that. Technically, Krillin was the first person to ever beat Cell. Well, you got to remember, so in Japanese culture, yeah. So in the main timeline, so the Cell we see in the Cell saga is the future Cell. He's from a future. He came back in time. The Cell that was of their timeline. I'll show you the Team 4-star version, but it's still canon. I'm going to mute it just because I don't want to get hit by anything. Actually, I'll leave it on. Screw it.
Hold on, I've been thinking. Technically, it's never done anything wrong. So
the dialogue's different, but this is actually what happened.
This isn't about a right to life. It's about making a choice. A choice we both need to make. A choice between a terrible mistake that can ruin lives and I'm dropping the pretenses. We're a boarding cell.
See, when they destroyed
let's get out of here before this place.
When they destroyed his when they destroyed the secret lab, they killed the he killed Cell. Why is my phone beeping at me? Oh, okay. But that's because that's not how time works. They get away with it. I'm not going to get into politics on that one, but I've got a very specific stance on that stuff. Short version, I'm pro-choice. I'm not going to go into politics discussion. It's not the channel for this. I thought the joke was horribly appropriate. Yeah, that's what they were technically doing. He was still a gestating fetus at that point. Team 4-Star is brutal. I love their stuff. Like, I'm really glad that they did the Busan. Like, yeah, he's still born at that point. So that was the one from the future. That was the future one. The one they killed was the one that was going to grow up to become that one. They killed him before it happened. So, for anybody who hasn't, watch Team 4-Star's Dragon Ball Abridged. If you haven't, you're missing out on greatness. They only got better as the series went on. Him doing that? That was 100% canon. It happens while Vegeta... No, sorry. While... I think it's while Goku and Gohan were in the hyperbolic time chamber. While they were waiting for the tournament. That's what they went and did. They went and blew up Dr. Giro's secret lab. It's canon. It also... yeah, it's canon. Because I think they were going there to find schematics on Android 16 to repair him. I can't remember. But that is canon. They also... Akira Toriyama has actually gone back and explained what type of androids 17 and 18 are. Because, 18 has a kid. You're like, was that from the Shenron Wish? No. No. Multiverse. I'll explain that one in a second. Multiverse. Because arguably that means Future Trunks shouldn't exist either. But, their names were originally Lapis and Lazille, so they were named after gems. And they are androids. They're mostly biological, but their augmentations are biological modifications more than electronical. So so the time they used the multiverse theory for this, meaning so you have timeline A is just this normal timeline. Something changes, creates timeline B. Timeline A doesn't cease to exist. It still goes on. So let's say timeline B comes down and messes with timeline A, creates timeline C. All these timelines continue to exist simultaneously. They don't disappear just because one thing happened. The only timeline that got destroyed permanently is the timeline where Goku Black existed, because Zeno showed up and said, "I'm erasing everything." That's fine. All right. Yeah. All right. Trying to think if there's anything else I really need to cover. I've had a lot of good Dragon Ball questions. Oh. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really need to cover. I don't have any other stories really set aside. I already did my complaining about Elon Musk stuff, aka Twitter. I'm just going to sit through to see if I had any other stuff set aside. Really didn't have much to talk about. I just didn't want to miss today because I missed last week. Yeah, doesn't look like I got anything. Hang on, what's this one? Because I have folders where I set aside stories. No, that's the... yeah, I don't feel like ranting about that. No. Yep, got nothing for y'all. Alright. Anybody got any geek stuff they want to... Any topics they want to bring up real fast? Before I start winding us down. This has already gone longer than I fully expected to, because I just wasn't expecting to stream too long, because reasons. I woke up late. So the last thing I'm going to end on is, if you guys aren't following My Hero Academia's manga, or Jujutsu Kaisen's manga, you need to. They're wrapping it up, and there's a lot of really epic stuff going on right now. I'd love to talk about it, but it's massive spoilers, and I don't have my spoiler tag set up yet, because I just threw this together before stream. But needless to say, there are some truly epic moments. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 10. Like, I am not joking. Yeah, but that's what I got for y'all. Appreciate everybody being here. Glad you were able to join me this time, Peanut Head. Cool Walker, always glad to see you. Don't forget to follow Cool Walker on his YouTube channel. Tonight, I will be in his Spy Games. I'll go ahead and drop the link to his channel. I'll be in his Spy Games stream. Hang on, it's going to take a second. I got to pull up the link. What? Whatever. I'm going to be in his Spy Game stream tonight. Me, Gothic, handful of others. So if you want to catch us live, there you go. I'll be going live here in a bit after I get a little bit of food. I'll be going live on my Jack Daedalus channel, playing some Overwatch, probably with my little sister Gothic. No guarantees. Yeah, that sums everything up. That's what I got for y'all.